Employees of the Month.
In the past, agency plaques were obtained through outside vendors. In order to cut costs and be more efficient, Central Logistics took on the role of making all agency-issued plaques. The annual BCSO award ceremony and Speedy DeWitt Technical Firearms Challenge make up the bulk of these requests. Last year, Tracy Wilson produced over 100 plaques for these two events alone. In addition, she produced plaques requested by multiple units and precincts for personnel transferring, leaving the agency, or retiring. Although this is just one part of her varied job responsibilities at Central Logistics, Tracy always has a positive attitude and a willingness to get the job done. The accreditation unit monitors and maintains all agency policies and procedures, as well as all forms, affidavits, and printed guides and manuals used daily by agency personnel. With the decline in use of Internet Explorer, we began receiving many employee complaints regarding the inability to access and navigate within many of our critical agency fillable forms and documents. Research was conducted by Cheryl Senk and Christine Bean to develop a solution to the forms and documents dilemma. A solution to most of our agency forms access was satisfied with the use of certain software, which was already in use by some members of our agency and was available for implementation at no further cost. This resulted in the development of the Agency Forms Library, now available to all personnel on the portal. Cheryl and Christine went further to develop training and step-by-step directions to all personnel. Since the implementation of Forms Library, employee access issues have been resolved, resulting in increased agency productivity and satisfaction. Nina Karmani's persistence, thoroughness, and investigative knowledge led to the arrest of two wanted fugitives whose warrants had been outstanding for over 30 years. Through her investigative efforts, Nina uncovered a possible address in Columbia County, Florida, for a fugitive with a violation of probation warrant issued in 1986. Using this address, deputies located and arrested the fugitive. Several days later, Nina found a possible address in Marion County, Florida, for another fugitive who had violated probation with his warrant issued in 1989. Once again, Nina's information led to the arrest of a fugitive who had evaded capture for 3 decades. Her determination led to the successful conclusion of these long-standing open cases, both culminating in the arrest and prosecution of the offender. Olivia Williams has served this agency in a variety of roles to include animal care specialist, animal enforcement officer, training officer, animal enforcement bite dangerous dog investigator, and currently as an animal services enforcement supervisor. Due to Olivia's dedication and great understanding of the court system, county ordinances, state laws, and rabies protocols, her supervisors received multiple accolades from the victims of her investigations and their thankfulness for her outstanding court presentation and the time she took with each and every one of them. On multiple occasions, the defendants in the cases would often reach out to Olivia's supervisors, praising Olivia for treating them with respect, professionalism, and dignity. This past year, Olivia was promoted to the position of Animal Enforcement Supervisor. Shortly thereafter, one of our enforcement supervisors left the agency, leaving only her to fill this role. Olivia immediately stepped up and assumed the responsibility of supervising all 12 of the animal enforcement officers, monitoring between 50 to 100 animal services calls a day, all while maintaining the safety and supervision of their activities. Without Olivia's dedication to the entire animal services team and her passion for animals, we would not be as successful and progressive as we are today. While traveling north on I-95, automotive technician Austin Severson observed what he believed to be a traffic crash with a possible ejection. As Austin stopped and neared the vehicle, he observed the driver laying on the ground next to the vehicle on the side of the roadway. Austin immediately went to provide medical aid and stayed with the driver until deputies arrived at the crash and took control of the scene. As part of her training program, new employee Carly Kasny was tasked with re-examining latent cases from 2020. The goal of this particular training task was to familiarize her with the analysis portion of latent examination, as well as with the Automated Fingerprint Identification System, or AFIS, when a latent of value was observed. In one of the first cases she examined, Carly successfully located a fingerprint of value and began an AFIS search of the fingerprint, which resulted in a potential hit. Prior to this, there were no leads in the case and it was closed pending further investigative information. In a second case, LPE Kasny was also able to successfully locate a latent fingerprint of value and began a search in AFIS of the fingerprint, which resulted in a potential hit. Sergeant Fletcher advised that the new lead was for a subject not previously known in this case. He further advised that the second identification was for a known subject in that case. It should be noted that LPE Kasny had no previous experience as a latent print examiner with another law enforcement agency. Yet, within 1 month of starting her employment with BCSO, she has already assisted by contributing 2 substantial new leads in separate cases. Emily started her career with the Brevard County Sheriff's Office Animal Services as an animal care technician and has continually progressed to the position of Animal Welfare Coordinator, where she coordinated special events and our volunteer program, to this year becoming one of our shelter supervisors. As shelter supervisor, Emily made an immediate impact on the shelter staff by gaining the staff's trust and respect as a leader. In addition to the 27 employees assigned to the shelter, she also coordinates the efforts of 60 volunteers. She also participates in outside events, facilitates weekly obedience classes, as well as many other activities, all while supervising the shelter operational team. An impressive feat for a seasoned supervisor, let alone a newly promoted one. Our team could not be more proud of what Emily has accomplished in her career at BCSO Animal Services. Her dedication and commitment to this organization and to the animals we are entrusted to care for is simply amazing. Due to the challenges of recruitment, the utilization of a hiring bonus and academy sponsorships has become a vital tool to hire candidates, each of which results in an employee contract. During the past 2 years, over 100 contracts have been awarded, requiring a substantial financial obligation from the agency, whereby it becomes imperative to recoup these funds if the contract is not upheld by the employee. Over the course of several months, Chief Legal Counsel Laura Moody and Payroll Coordinator Julie Nycomb worked collectively to review employee contracts. Each brought a unique perspective in reviewing the contracts, resulting in a more comprehensive contract. Chief Legal Counsel Moody ensured the rewritten contract language is clear and concise. Payroll Coordinator Nycomb reviews the contracts if any employee leaves prior to fulfilling the terms of the contract and must determine what the employee will need to do in order to satisfy the contract. The contracts have been revised to provide a clear understanding of the agreement being entered into between the 2 parties. The attention to detail and teamwork exhibited by all has resulted in contracts that employees can easily understand and seamless enforcement of contracts when necessary. During the months of September and October, the Brevard County Sheriff's Office was tasked with fingerprinting all of the Brevard County Fire and Rescue personnel. During a few short weeks, Jacqueline Flake fingerprinted almost 250 of the 470 BCFR employees. This task was completed quickly and efficiently, while still keeping up with all of her other daily responsibilities. It should also be noted that Jacqueline readily volunteered in assisting the Brevard County School Board when they were short-staffed. In the few days helping out, she completed nearly 300 fingerprints on school board employees, contractors, and volunteers. Within a few days of fingerprinting the BCFR personnel, many of the fire stations from outside the West Precinct's geographical boundaries were being directed to visit West Precinct due to the level of professionalism and prompt and friendly service they were receiving from Jacqueline. District Chief Chris DeSazio took the time to write a letter stating he greatly appreciated Jacqueline's hard work and dedication. Booking technician Kaylin Brooks has been a vital member of the booking team at the jail complex. In addition to her assigned duties, she has also taken on the additional assignment as a civilian training officer, making her responsible for training new booking technicians. Kaylin also created a training manual for booking technician procedures. She has demonstrated outstanding job performance and can be relied upon to exceed standards with regards to arrest affidavits and other various documents. With just over 3 years of experience, booking technician Brooks has proven to be an asset to the jail complex. As Hurricane Nicole impacted the east coast of Florida, the communications center received a call from a male who was riding out the storm on his 36-foot sailboat. The male advised that his sailboat had broken free from its mooring and was now sideways in the Indian River, beginning to fill with water. Chief Pilot John Coppola and aviation mechanic Michael Ryle responded to the area with an aviation truck and inflatable Zodiac boat. Chief Pilot Coppola and mechanic Ryle deployed the inflatable boat and battled the rough conditions while they made their way to the sailboat. Once he arrived at the sailboat, they made contact with the male and were able to safely bring him aboard their inflatable boat. The three then proceeded to battle the rough conditions, finally reaching the shore where Cocoa Fire and Brevard County Fire Rescue were waiting to provide medical care. During this event, Chief Pilot Coppola and Mechanic Ryle placed their own safety in danger in order to complete this water rescue, which most likely saved the life of this boater in distress. During a shift at the jail complex, corrections technician Stephen Durso noticed that an inmate was attempting to jump over the railing of the second floor in a housing unit. The inmate had tied one end of a bedsheet around his neck and the other end on the top rail. Corrections technician Durso immediately informed corrections deputies, who immediately responded and were able to safely secure and handcuff the distraught inmate during a stressful and chaotic incident. Corrections technician Durso displayed the professionalism, calm demeanor, and the command presence it took to ensure a safe resolution of this incident. His actions no doubt prevented serious injury and preserved a life.